What's up, everybody? Welcome back and happy Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Andrew Myers, bringing you your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. And they're there still for you in the description to this video, so go ahead and check out their pages. Today we are talking about, well, tonight I should say, some late night storms that are expected through the central plains. Got a low pressure system moving through, bringing a cold front, bringing a dry line, bringing storms along with it. And then we also got some stuff going on in Florida today and tomorrow. So we got some high winds, tornado chances with a different system, completely different thing, tracking through the southeast and the Gulf. So going to cover both of those areas for today and tomorrow. And then we got a day 3 risk coming for you, and that is with the plain system that'll be shifting eastward into the Mississippi Valley by Friday. So getting into all that in a second. Before we talk weather, come see us at the Limitless GPO annual event. This is coming up here tomorrow at the SRS distribution headquarters in McKinney, Texas. Brandon will be there, and there will be some training, and there will also be some networking events, followed by football bowling. So a bunch of good resources to go check out at the Limitless GPO annual event coming up soon. Now I'm getting into our future jet stream, all right? We got this low pressure system. Again, that's going to be tracking into the central plains. That's bringing our storms today into tomorrow. Going to keep pushing off to the east through the Mississippi Valley through Friday, and that cold front tracking along with it. So we'll get a cool down through a lot of the plains into this weekend, and then following that off to the east with those storm chances, all the way through your Saturday, when we'll see, again, colder weather and then some storms following that low pressure system. So for now, we're watching central plains for those storms. Pretty clear right now, waiting on that low pressure system to get out there. And we've also got a warm front coming up from the southern plains, bringing all that moisture and heat along with it. So right now, that's working its way up, and then we've got that second system, and that one's pretty easy to spot down in the southern plains there with all that heavy rain. Southern plains, southeast, bringing all that heavy rain and cloud cover with it, and could intensify a little bit over the Florida peninsula and potentially produce some tornadoes and high winds. So in terms of temperatures, though, it's still really pretty objectively nice. I mean, 60s and 70s across the majority of the U.S., a little bit colder up to the north. But again, there's our low pressure system, and we'll see that cold front starting to get a little bit more obvious on our map here as the warm air starts to move up from the north and that cold air comes in from the west. So got that set up, getting ready here, and there's those dew points. So again, these have been kind of the key factor in our storm intensity for today. Wichita was in the 50s with dew points earlier this morning, just made it up to 63 degrees, and you're seeing those deeper green values starting to make their way into Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, etc. And so we need to see those continue to track up north to get anything really intense. But right now, this is what we got. So sitting in the 60s for a lot of the southern plains, and then dropping off pretty quickly once we get into the central and northern states. So in terms of significant hail, not really seeing anything for much of the day, but again, this is a late night risk. So there we are by midnight. Now models are starting to pick up on a little bit of activity potential with higher dew points and with that low pressure system tracking through. So we got that starting in the late night hours through the early morning, and then there we are by 6 a.m. Still got more popping up through that area with that warm front bringing in all that instability. So there go our storms. We're going to see things track all the way out into the, what is this region, like upper Midwest, Great Lakes, like the Chicagoland area all the way through Iowa here. Starting to see storms pop up by around 7:30, but the main show is going to start again later as that cold front starts to move through. There we are by 11, getting more through Omaha, and then seeing storms really get going into the late night hours. Tons of rain, gets messy really quick. So again, the setup based on waiting on those dew points to get up there, and then seeing how storm mode plays out. It's not looking overwhelmingly impressive for hail, I'm not going to lie to you guys, but we could still see some stones larger than some quarters, maybe $half, maybe a couple of ping pong balls, but looking like mostly yellow swath worthy for hail trace into today, quarters to $half. So then for Florida, again, we don't really get hail with tropical systems, and this is coming out of the tropics, so too warm in the upper atmosphere to really get hail with this, but we do have some spin, and this thing is booking, so we could possibly see some tornadoes on this as well as some high winds starting around 4 p.m., starting to get those cells moving inland in the Florida peninsula, and then this whole mess of rain tracking all the way from, central Louisiana into the Florida panhandle there. Could be getting some pretty heavy rain into today through tonight, and then more rounds of possible isolated storms producing tornadoes through the Florida panhandle. And that system is really going to linger all the way through tomorrow morning. Here's what it looks like in terms of future wind gusts. Things picking up along the coast by around 7 p.m., doing 50+ mile an hour possible. And then as it continues to push into the southeast, seeing lots of brighter values here through Alabama, Georgia, even parts of the Florida coastline. Could be seeing some higher winds with the bulk of that system as it starts to move on shore. So for hail, focusing here on the plains into the upper Midwest. Quarters to $half. Again, that's really what we're looking at for today, and it's going to be pretty low-end chances across the board. Very conditional risk that we're watching here. But Sioux Falls down into Hastings, all the way into Davenport, could possibly see some quarters, $half with this system. And then for wind, we still have that area highlighted, as well as Florida, which is probably going to be the one doing more in terms of wind for today, but starting out with our Central Plains risk, Ainsworth all the way into Des Moines, could see some gusts up to 60 miles an hour, and then Florida. You guys from the Panhandle all the way down into the south central part of the peninsula there, pretty much Naples to Tallahassee, could see some high winds, could see a higher frequency of them if you guys are kind of around Tampa, Gainesville, Orlando there. Got a better chance to see some gusts at or above 60 miles an hour with that system coming over you guys. Could also see some tornadoes as well. So again, that whole area, pretty much the central peninsula there, has a good chance to see some isolated storms breaking off from that main system, and those are the ones we're watching for potential rotation, some tornadoes. So be on the lookout if you're anywhere in that red swath, but again, that central area has the best chance into today through tonight. Then for tomorrow, back to it, back to the Central Plains, watching that low pressure system move through. You can kind of see it here on our hail model, kind of see that curling shape with that low. Not looking, again, overwhelmingly impressive by 4 p.m. But by 7, that system should start to get going, and we have better environmental conditions as it does. So if you guys are pretty much in between like Hastings and Lincoln tomorrow, that's where the bulk of those storms should be moving through as they start to ramp up a little bit. So could see some higher hail value or higher hail sizes in that region as things get going and then move off to the east. So here's what that looks like. All right, get that low pressure system. You can see the spin on that, popping out these storms by around 4 p.m. Some of those isolated ones could produce hail, and then as it shifts off to the east, now it starts to drop storms along that whole cold front. And with that, could see some larger hail as well as just general heavier storm activity as that really intensifies and tracks back through Iowa, through Missouri, and into the Great Lakes. Then for Florida, you're still going with that system, still moving over the central part of the peninsula, and should clear out into the overnight hours. Some scattered showers here and there through Friday morning, but again, today is going to be the bulk of when you're seeing tons of heavy rain, as well as high winds and possible rotating storms. So hail tomorrow, quarters to $half, anywhere from Nebraska all the way through eastern Kansas, even into far northern Oklahoma there. But best chance for hail is going to, again, be kind of where we saw those storms ramp up through eastern Nebraska. So if you're in Hastings all the way to Omaha, you got a better chance to see some severe hail into tomorrow. Now we have a better chance to possibly get ping pong to golf ball sized stones, and then quarters to $half through, again, eastern Kansas there. And then in terms of the wind, high winds possible through that same region as well as Florida. Seems kind of like a deja vu risk today, possibly in a little uptick in intensity through our Central Plains risk. And then we should see things kind of starting to hopefully taper off through the overnight for you guys in Florida. So, and then we'll get to your tornado risk for tomorrow, but here's what it looks like as that whole system tracks across the Ohio Valley. Possible to continue seeing intense storms through Iowa, Missouri, and then the Ohio Valley, etc. So this whole system is going to kind of start up tonight, possibly take off tomorrow, and then track through that region into Friday. So here's your look ahead forecast for pretty much anywhere around like Davenport, Chicago, down into St. Louis, southern Illinois there could possibly see some intense storms on Friday with the remnants of the cold front starting today. So tune in if you're in any of those areas, and we'll let you know what's happening. You guys can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and the app formerly known as Twitter. It's X now, so I'm going to go ahead and update that. But follow us on any of our socials. We're Hail Trace on everything. And then if you want to get in contact with us, go ahead and scan the QR code up above me, click the link in the description to this video, and that'll get you guys access to all of our severe weather mapping products. Or if you want to get in contact with us, go ahead and call us at 855-334-4245. Email us at info@hailtrace.com or check out hailtrace.com for more details. And we'll be back tomorrow with updates, but for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.